Hello and welcome to Stealing Things from Friends. Celeste is Bookish, who will be linked down below. Go check her out, she's fabulous. Has an IRL book club where they do like a summer bingo every year. And I'm stealing that because it looked fun. And to be honest, I wanted to like do a readathon or something. It's just that I'm kind of lazy for readathons. I don't really I'm not that focused. But working off of something that's like a bingo board of, it's 5x5, so it's 24 prompts and a free square in the middle. And it's like vague prompts. I don't know, that just, it's the kind of thing that my brain really likes right now at this moment. So I'm stealing it. Here it is. I plan to knock out the whole board. That is the goal. I'm a completionist. Like, I want to knock out the whole board. I have the summer to do it. And, I don't think they have any rules on like what constitutes summer. She's a teacher, so it might be like the school summer, but I'm going from the beginning of June until whenever summer officially ends, if I require that long, which I think it's sometime in September. It might be like the 22nd or something. I feel like it's usually the 22nd, but I have to read 25 books. The only real rule on this is that there is no double dipping, and beyond that, just like do whatever you feel like. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do whatever I feel like. I plan to check in like once a month or so, just like what I read, what next the TBR is, whatever. Because I'm only gonna pick like a couple at a time, and to be honest, I might not even read all of the ones that I pick. I don't know. This is basically, instead of doing like a structured readathon, I'm doing the laziest thing I could imagine. Why are you walking behind me repeatedly? What are you doing? If you're gonna do that, like at least come be in the video and get me more views. But this is what I'm doing. It's called the Book Bitches Summer 2023 Bingo. I'm stoked. I've wanted to like find some prompts to do something for a minute. I've just been lazy. I'm gonna go over the first like few books, few prompts, what I've read thus far, because I have finished a book already. I won't be going over all the prompts, but like you can look at the board if you want. You can go steal it from her if you want. Do whatever you want. Don't knock things on my head. This is essentially the stack of books that I'm working off to begin with, plus one ebook. I'm mostly going to be focusing on physical books for this, just because that makes my brain happier. I don't know why. I don't have any logical reason behind it. It just makes my brain kind of happier. But the first book that I have actually already finished is Kisscut by Karin, which goes for the incest square. I'm feeling some kind of way that that was the first square that I knocked off of this board, but that's fine. At least I don't have to go Googling which books have incest in them, because that would be a little bit awkward. But this was wonderful. I love it. I kind of figured that reading a Karin series all this summer, one of those was going to knock off the square. Wasn't really expecting it to just right out of the gate, but you know, that's fine. Then my current read is The Memoirs of Mary, Queen of Scots by Erickson, which is going for the new to you author prompt. Mostly because I picked this up at random and it doesn't really fulfill anything else. So some of these prompts are like I'm gonna have to plan for, and then some of them are just like I'm gonna read at random and they will get fulfilled, like this one. So yeah, I kind of wish I wasn't knocking off one of the super easy ones right out of the gate as well, but you know, I wanted to read this, so I am, and it's not very good, but that's fine. It's a quick read. I'm decently into it already. And then going for books that I have actually planned and not started reading yet. I have, for the Myth Square, I have Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief. This is pretty much as close to myths as I was gonna get. I don't know, I'm really kind of lucky that I'm reading this summer, because I don't read a whole lot of myth stuff, so that probably would have been a decently difficult square for me if I did not just have this on my TBR that I was about to read next week anyway. Then for the true crime square, I have The Devil's Advocate's Greatest Closing Arguments in Criminal Law by Michael S. Lief and H. Mitchell Caldwell. They have 3 of these books. They're basically a series that are just the text of, you know, the greatest, whatever they think the greatest closing arguments are. And then like commentary and context to those arguments. Like, they discuss the case, they discuss why they picked it. It's the text of the closing arguments. It's very legal and stuff. But I loved these when I was in high school. I read the first two, which were Ladies and Gentlemen of the Jury, and I'm trying to see if I can see them on my shelf, and I can't. I don't remember the title of the other one, but it was The Greatest Closing Arguments in Modern Law and The Greatest Closing Arguments in Civil Law. And the civil law one was a little bit like, there were some older ones that were harder for me to follow. The modern law one was really great. This was the one I was most excited for, so I'm stoked. It took me a long time to find it because I'm lazy and cheap, but like, I don't know, I'm weird. This is probably a really weird book, but I'm like super stoked to finally get to it. Then for the elements, earth, wind, fire, water square, I have Water, Tales of Elemental Spirits, mostly because this is so unbelievably on the nose that it almost feels wrong. Like, it's just like way too literal, but like I wanted to, I don't know, it felt both wrong to pick it and wrong to not pick it, and like it's just, it's so literal. I don't know. Plus, I've wanted to read this for a minute. I like Robin McKinley. I've read 2 of her books. I've always wanted to read more and never got around to it, so like this will be nice to like delve into her a little bit again. Reread a childhood favorite prompt. I have Ribbons by Laurence Yep. This is probably the one I always go back to. There's never a bad time for me to reread this. It makes me happy. I sob while reading it. It's like super short, it's super quick. I can read it in like less than an hour and a half. I could read other things for this prompt, but I'm kind of feeling like this is gonna be the one. I reread it fairly regularly. It's wonderful. If you're looking for like lovely contemporary middle grade, it's great. This is great. This is one of my favorites. And then for the featuring an animal prompt, I have an arc that I need to get read before the publication date in July. It is The Fallout Family, Wasteland, Woes by Isaac Cooke-Khan. It's a middle grade dystopic novel about a brother and sister and their dog, and that's pretty much all I know about it, but it sounds really good and I'm excited to read it, so I need to get that read. It fits for that prompt really well, and I don't read a ton of books that feature animals, so like perfect. And then the final prompt that I'm going to talk about that I'm like planning a book for, although like all of these plans are kind of like iffy, like I might read something else for them, but this is my plan. Read a book that was published the year you turned 25. That for me was 2018, and I just googled books that were published in 2018 and like didn't click on any websites. Google just came up with a list of like 9 books that were popular. I own 3 of them, and I picked one because it's a book I've recently hauled, and I'm trying to read the books that I've acquired this year during the year so that I don't just like keep adding. So I picked this one, There by Tommy Orange, which I know nothing about. I did at some point, I remember hearing people talk about this probably when it came out in 2018. It's been a minute, but I do want to read it. I don't know. It was one that I remember sounded really interesting to me. I think it's his debut, but I genuinely remember nothing about this at this point. So that is basically where I'm at. There are a lot more prompts, obviously. There are 24 total prompts plus the free square. And I don't think I'm gonna need to plan for all of them, because some of them are super easy, like read a book with a non-American author, read a book that makes you laugh or cry, like everything makes me cry, read a book that won an award, which is I feel like 2/3 of popular books, and like I have a bunch on my shelf. I'm sure plenty of them have won awards. Like there are things that I'm really not concerned about hitting, but I'm gonna focus on these, maybe read some other things, and then probably check back in around like the middle of every month, just with like what I've read and kind of what I plan to read next, and kind of see where it's at, and hopefully I can knock out the whole bingo card by the end of the summer. But that's what I'm doing. This just seemed fun. It seemed like a good way to like just kind of focus and pick my TBR, because like sometimes I do just get overwhelmed with like there are 18 books that I would like to read right now and I can only read one of them. I'm not always good at choosing what to read, so this is fun. I like this. This is a good thing for me to do. If you want to do this, I will link Celeste's channel down below, and she has like the information, but this is just like an IRL book club thing that she does that I'm not participating in. I'm just stealing their bingo card, but it's very fun. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them if you have, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all again soon.